Alright, this is going to be a quick tutorial on creating a transparent sphere in Inkscape. This is for beginners, really, so if you're a more advanced Inkscape user, you might not be able to get too much with this. For the shapes, we're going to stick, for the most part, for the basic shapes tools, and mainly just the circle, actually. And then there's not really too much that we're going to be doing. It might help if you've never worked with clipping masks before, or if you're just starting out with Inkscape and you just want to know some of the functions. So this is just a basic sphere. It's not crazy or Web 2.0 or anything. It's just a sphere that happens to be transparent. All right, I'll start out by clicking on the circle tool. And then going to Object, Fill and Stroke, and I'll create this circle by holding Control, clicking and dragging. Actually, Shift, clicking and dragging, and Control 2 if you feel like it. You can let go. Alright, I had white selected as a color to start, which is not a good idea. So Object, Fill and Stroke, click on the Fill tab and set the lightness down a bit, and then move the hue over to the bluish green area, and then we'll move the saturation up to about there. Alright, so that's our sphere. That's it. Nothing else. Alright, so we're going to click on it. I'm going to press F11 to go into full screen mode here. Basically, I'll send this over to the tab. Click on it. Control D, which is or Object Duplicate, and then we're going to fill this in with white. From here, we're just going to click on the Radial Gradient tool, and it's going to give us a nice circular gradient here. And we'll just click on this, move it, select the gradient tool right here. Click on the square, move it up a bit, and click on one of the handles, press Control and Shift to keep it proportionate. And actually, we're probably just going to leave it at about there. It didn't really need to be changed. Alright, we're going to click on this one more time, press Control D, and fill it in with white yet again. Except this time, we're going to duplicate it again. Let's see. Why is it a dark? Oh, the opacity's down a bit. Alright. I'm gonna click on this, press Control D to duplicate it. Unless I already, yeah. Control D to duplicate it. I'm gonna move it up slightly to the left. And you can't really see too much what's going on here, but there's two white circles. I'm going to click on the new one and the old one. I'm going to hold down Shift and click on both of them so that I have them both selected. Gonna go to Path and Difference, and from here I have this little reflection at the end, and all I'm gonna do is blur that to the point where it just kind of works in. And now the next step is I'm going to select these two things, move them out of the way, and then click on this. And then I'm going to press Control Z so that I have everything back where it was, but I have this back object selected. I'll press Control D again, and actually I didn't. Anyways, to show you what's going on, here I'll make this a stroke with no fill. I'm going to click on the blurred area, as well as this large one. I'm going to go to Object, Clip, Set, and all that does is keeps this white blur from going outside of the circle. Now I'm going to actually yet again move these, and select this, Control Z, and I'm going to move the opacity down to about here is good. See if I can actually lower this opacity a bit. Actually, it's probably about good where it is. I'll move the gradient down a bit. Alright, so the next step is we're going to create a bit of a shadow for this. So I'm just going to select everything. Or actually, I'll just select the gradient. Control D again. Fill it in with black. Squash it. And hold Control and move it down to about here. I'm going to press page down a bunch of times to put it at the bottom. And the next step, you can either press the gradient tool right here, which has a nice look to it when you do this, or you can just go and keep it black and then blur it a lot, which is what we'll be doing today, just because. Alright, see if we can find the best setting for the blur. You can move the blur slider up and down to see where you want it. Somehow I think this shadow should be a bit smaller. I'm holding Control and Shift to keep their proportions and keep it centered. Alright, so I'm going to leave that where it is. Actually, I'll move it up a little bit. And my next step is going to be to create the table, just to show everything in a kind of a 3D way. And I'm just going to start by creating a rectangle here. And I will click on Path, Object to Path, to convert this rectangle from a shape to a regular geometric shape to a path. Well, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to click on the path editor right there, and I'm going to hold Shift, click on one of the top two points. Actually, I'm going to select one and hold Control and move it over slightly. I'm just going to eyeball this and see if I can get a nice perspective table here. Give it just an orange color, any kind really. Stroke paint, take off the stroke. Now I move it to the bottom, and I'll flatten it a bit. So that's basically it. It's not too hard. It's pretty simple. Hopefully I'll be creative and do slightly different tutorials in this one, which is not extremely complicated. I was doing a clock, but I messed up as I was doing the tutorial, so I got frustrated and decided to do this instead. Alright, I'm gonna click stop and we'll be good. See ya.